Casey Akpala, just his second game, making his first career start, had to sit out because of Stanford academic issues. Don Coleman on the wing. Both these teams have struggled offensively to begin the season. Hamilton, entry pass to Lee. Going up against Humphrey off the glass.
Good look on Cal's first possession. They quickly convert into the full court pressure.
Ahead to Travis. Humphrey, baseline jumper, good.
That's the way to attack full court pressure. Go baseline to baseline with an attack of your own and score.
This is Darius McNeil up top, one of the many freshmen for Cal. Suing, taking, and rejected with authority by Michael Humphrey.
Good alert rotation by Humphrey from the weak side. Peripheral vision, full extension. Swat that shot away. Really the strength of the Stanford team is their front line. A lot of length and skill.
Coleman taking right over Humphrey, and Lee is there to finish it up.
Now the dribble penetration by Cal here early triggers the help from Stanford. That makes them vulnerable on the boards. Again, full court pressure by the Bears.
Dejon Davis, the true freshman point guard out of Seattle. One-time University of Washington commit. Knocked away, easy steal there by McNeil. He'll take it all the way to the rack.
Cal coming out aggressively here. Alert, rotating, active feet, active hands, deflections. Always a good sign.
Davis down low to Travis. Contact, no foul, puts it through.
The weight room muscle shot by Reed Travis.
Not many built like him, 6'8", 245. And McNeil chased back to midcourt, trying to step through, and a blocking foul going against Stanford.
I like the counter aggression by Stanford here on this ball screen. They blitz it, go for the double team. Cal fortunate to pick up the foul on Stanford. Side out of bounds.
That goes to Dejon Davis with the foul. Now McNeil with the ball, one of the deadliest three-point shooters in the conference so far this year, shooting 46%. Takes his first of the night. And the rebound goes right to Akpala.
Zone defense here, 2-3 early, shown by Cal.
Pickens, last year a 40% three-point shooter.
The senior can score in a variety of ways.
Jared Haas happy to have him back. Last year averaged a dozen a game. Travel on Marcus Lee. We'll go back to the bucket by Pickens.
Talked about the versatility. Just squares, lines one up, bottoms.
Senior from Phoenix. The Stanford team at times in the non-conference has been so short-handed on the perimeter. Akpala turns it over. No. Held on to by Humphrey. And now a foul. Take a look at Jared Haas, his second year. Of course, a former Cal guard. Played alongside Jason Kidd in that backcourt. His second year on the farm. Took UAB to the tournament not all that long ago.
Played under Lou Campanelli and Todd Bozeman for the Cal Bears before transferring to Kansas, where he played for Roy Williams. You see Stanford there against that zone, trying to go high-low with their bigs.
Into Humphrey, battles for position, going up against Lee. Travis puts it through.
The Stanford trees doing damage at point-blank range. A little breakdown there on Cal's defense on the baseline out of bounds.
Suddenly a 7-0 Stanford run. Taking just a little over a minute. Top to Hamilton. Not many touches so far for him tonight. Don Coleman has, of course, been quiet. Their leading scorer. Now Lee, offensive foul. Looked like it was either going to be that or a travel now.
And good defense there by Humphrey, giving ground, moving the feet. Lee lowers the shoulder, just premeditated, predetermined his move, which is never a good idea in basketball. Important to be light on the feet, be able to maneuver at a pace and navigate in a way where you're under control. Still be aggressive, but keep those feet under you like a cat.
Break the press to Travis. It's been a little bit different year for Reed Travis, playing more on the perimeter this year.
He's improved his shot. Still does most of his damage down low, where he can use the strength and size like this.
Oh my. Good vision by Davis and the hammer by Travis.
Yeah, pocket pass by Davis as Cal helped uphill defensively, exposing the baseline for that pocket pass to Travis.
McNeil takes a long shot. Meanwhile, for the Cardinal on the floor for the first time, number 13, Oscar De Silva, the freshman out of Munich, gets the ball in the wing right here. Humphrey, deep baseline two. He's been perfect so far.
Good execution here by Stanford. White King Jones gets a timeout, wants to talk it over with his Bears.
And no surprise, Reed Travis making his presence felt down low, Lav.
Up and away. Rivalry game, 106 years with that flush. Timeout.
Research takes time. Breakthroughs don't come easy. I will work day and night. It will take perseverance and guidance and teamwork, but I will keep working to improve agriculture using big data, to make driverless cars safer, to discover how the brain works and cure its diseases. The stakes are really high. The research is worth it.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Good luck, coward.
Look at this series history between these two programs. Cal leading the all-time series, but how about this, Lab? Last 18-minute meetings split dead even. Look at the point total from both sides, almost even as well. But you can see Stanford since '94 has owned Cal here inside Maples. White King Jones, his first time as a head coach in this series, promoted from within. Former assistant under Conzo Martin, was an assistant on the national champion Louisville team not all that long ago.
So many unique layers to this outstanding rivalry. As we see the trap by Stanford here in the full court press. I like the look, and they'll fall back into their half-court defense.
Swing swings it around. Don Coleman heaves a three. Loose ball controlled by Reed Travis. Into the corner. Silva able to hold on to it.
Crisp ball movement here by Stanford in their attack, the extra pass.
Sharma gets it swatted away. He went for the hammer dunk. And a jump ball. Is that Soon that got up? Well, Sharma, a 7-footer. Cal leading the conference in blocks, nearly 7 a game.
Impressive response.
Of course, Marcus Lee, it makes much more sense. Lee at 6'11".
Good collapse there by Cal. Rotating quickly again, the basket area. Openings close very quickly.
3 to shoot now in the corner to Silva, his first shot try of the night. And Darius McNeil comes down with it, presses it across midcourt. Coleman spins, and Sharma gets a block right back on the other end. That block came right to him.
Well, early offense, the whirling dervish. Sharma says no. Going back to that rivalry as we take a look at Cal sets up in their full court pressure. Two great academic schools across the bay from one another in terms of location makes it unique. One public, one private, also a unique element. Over 100 years now, 106 years of playing one another, and so many of the alumni reside in this area, work in this area, raise their families here as a result.
Paula giving a bunny, he converts.
Boy, very sharp. That's the sweet spot when you want to attack a zone right there. High post to mid post. Also the baseline, the short corners, a place to deploy the ball, operate from against zones.
Well, that bucket adds to a 13-0 Stanford run. Lee penetrates, soft right hand finish.
Pretty soft touch.
Now Marcus Lee with 6 of Cal's 8 points so far. Isaac White, the freshman out of Australia, on the floor for the first time tonight, has it up top.
Stanford getting the ball to the middle of the floor as well. Dangerous pass, almost picked off.
That was suing. Akpala taking it for the hammer. No dice, not this time. Kingsley Okoro coming off a 7-block performance in the non-conference finale, gets his hand on that.
Akpala, this is what he gives you, that length, the aggression, confidence. Stretches one out, and he's rewarded for being aggressive.
Okoro's first foul. Akpala is someone that Stanford is so high on. This is only his second game. He sat out the first 12 games because of academic issues. Now, to be clear, not NCAA academic issues, but those as required by Stanford. Return to play against Kansas, the final game of the non-conference schedule. And Jared Haas saying that already Akpala is the Cardinal best defender.
Well, he can influence the game in a positive manner, both offensively and defensively. His length, his quickness gives Stanford a more margin for error.
Okoro cleaning it up, his first bucket tonight. Robert Cartwright with the ball. To White. He's a deadly three-point shooter. Pretty pass, pretty finish, Sharma.
Well, like soccer, you see Stanford there go to the middle, sideline, then back to the middle, score on goal. Similar spacing and approach that we see in soccer, but the same goes for basketball. It's a sound passing approach using spacing.
Suing loses the dribble. 7 to shoot now for Cal, and Sharma comes up with it. There's Cartwright pushing. White, his first 3 try. Here's a rebound for Marcus Lee. Coleman has been held silent so far. 4th leading scorer in the conference. But Coleman's been in double figures every game but St. Mary's. Suing up with the tree. Sharma pulls it down.
Those are contested shots going against the skyscrapers of Stanford along the front line. Not many good looks.
De Silva out of space and out of bounds. What do you make of this tempo so far?
You know, you can tell there's that palpable chippiness, anticipation with these two teams matching up with one another. Both aggressive, looking to push it in transition, and both looking to attack the cup or the rim, not settling for jump shots. It's important when you take it into traffic, though, that you're ready to sit down and make pocket passes or kick the ball back outside. You don't want to take contested shots. You want higher percentage open looks, particularly against taller teams. And Stanford, a lot of size.
Good ball movement. Good pass. Sharma, two-hand finish.
Well, that's an example. Take it into the teeth of the defense, draw help from your opponent, and then look to kick it off like an option quarterback, pocket pass it to the open man. Well done.
We've seen some great ball distribution by Stanford and from some of their freshmen. Foul on Sharma. That's his first. Sharma has gotten into the mix coming off the bench. The junior from Lexington, Mass.
Dropping the dime one more time. Little chin up on the rim. Timeout.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the
Misrepresent the facts? Are you kidding? Your proposal is ridiculous.
You have no right to call
You are
anything
the worst example of
I
politics.
stand for
You
something.
flip-flop.
I stand for something.
Flip-flopper, flip-flopper.
Your proposal is ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
That's the power of one.
I motion that I be issued the timeout, and
Wow, me too.
yeah, for sure, you should get a timeout.
I apologize.
And I motion that I start showing more respect.
Civility. Pass it on.
The power of one. Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You could touch a guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls in the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion. On the walls in the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Your home for college basketball all season long is Fox Sports Networks. The biggest moments, the most exciting teams, and legendary rivalries happen here. College basketball all season long.
All Stanford about midway through the first half. Let's take you inside the huddle a moment ago with White King Jones of the Bears.
Y'all got to drop. I don't know. What's the problem? I don't understand it. Why aren't we dropping?
Well, White King Jones there talking to Tim O'Toole, who's brought that Syracuse 2-3 zone to the Cal Bears program, and he's talking about the backline defenders dropping to be able to level off and stay attached to the big men. But that help with Cal's big men stepping up and exposing the baseline as a result of dribble penetration. So really, it starts out top. It's the guards in the zone that have to be mindful of leveling off dribble penetration, because once the ball's driven in there, that triggers the Cal bigs to help uphill. That exposes the baseline, which leads those pocket passes and dunks.
Jawan Harris-Dyson missing both free throws. Did you happen to notice, Lav, on 3 things to know about Coach Jones? He's been in 4 movies.
But he's really interesting in terms of the experiences he's had. As we look at Humphrey, line one up, doesn't go down. But Stanford scrambling back with the appropriate sense of urgency. No easy ones given up tonight, partly because they're taking good shots, executing it, putting through the nets. But also, there's no short leg and no lollygagging. They're getting back with urgency.
Coral, nice pass underneath.
Well, that's exactly what Cal has been struggling with there. The baseline exposed, good post feed. Stanford helps uphill and exposes the baseline where Okoro was able to finish.
That was Brandon Ticevic on the floor for the first time, the freshman out of Sydney. Going the other way. Dejon Davis checking back in for the Cardinal, their point guard.
Take a look.
And foul going on Humphrey there. Harris Dyson on the wing, guarded by Pickens. McNeil driving and fouled. Foul on the floor. McNeil, the freshman out of Houston. Second leading scorer for Cal. As Dejon Davis gets flagged for his second foul. So he just checked in. He's going back to the bench. Cartwright comes back on the floor. Now Davis, somebody that Jared has so high on, has had a problem with turnovers. He leads the conference in that category, but somebody they really count on. Coleman, the leader for Cal, directing some traffic on the wing. Okoro, dish down low. Harrison Dyson fouled. It goes against Pickens. First foul on Dorian Pickens, making his first start in 11 games. Playing for the first time in 11 games.
Well, good look by Okoro off the aggressive double team. Looked like a clean block, a Spalding sandwich up top. It may have been bodied down low.
Coleman too strong of the pull up, kept alive, and it falls to Humphrey.
See Cal trying to get the ball to the high post in the short corner. Okpala has the versatility to step out and go 4 round 1. Different ways to distort the defense. Here he takes it to the hoop, draws the foul.
Now Darius McNeil really shaken up. Okpala 6'8", nearly 200.
Let's face it, if they had Okpala from the start of the season and they didn't have the injuries to Pickens, they're not looking at a losing record stepping into conference play. Their fortunes would be dramatically different. The good news is they're closer to full strength. Now this team will need time to play together, just like musicians. The more they practice, the more rehearsals, the better they'll perform.
Humphrey has it intercepted by Harris Dyson. Long forward pass to Deshaun Winston, who just checked in too far in front, and it's Cardinal ball.
Yeah, Winston let up some. If he would have streaked, run a fly pattern, he would have been able to catch up to that pass and had a layup.
Cartwright brings it across. He averages 9 a game. Pickens in the corner.
Paula, a lot of confidence.
He takes it foul. Now we mentioned the injuries for Stanford. They're not quite fully healthy. Marcus Sheffield, a projected starter, is still nagged by a foot injury. So they get Pickens back today, but Sheffield still ailing.
You know, Pickens in particular is so vital because he's a senior, experienced, understands the grind of a season and how long Pac-12 conference regular season is, just providing the maturity, and then obviously from a physical standpoint, a playmaker, shot maker, and the versatility he brings with that size to help the Cardinal both ends of the floor.
Okpala good on the second. You mentioned Okpala looking comfortable. That was the scouting report on him after his first game, which happened to come against Kansas. No fluster, like he'd been playing the whole season.
He's high-level prospect. See the fluid race, an offensive foul on Lee. Humphrey there takes one on the chest. He sold it well, and yes, I'm sure their fans saying that was a flop, but acting's involved. You have to sell it to the official, use your moxie or savvy. Why not gain a competitive edge? And Lee did turn that shoulder into the chest sternum of Humphrey.
He's sitting down with 2 fouls. This is the second time Humphrey's taken one of those. Former high school quarterback. Been sacked a couple of times here tonight. Reed Travis has been somewhat quiet recently. He's back on the floor, gets it at the block. They collapse on him, but the right hand front iron. And Kingsley Okoro gets the rebound. Okoro, the only returning starter for Cal. Don Coleman still held without a bucket so far. They collapse on Okoro right away.
And quick double teams. Trap along the baseline. Good find by Okoro.
Now Pickens swats that away. Juan Harris Dyson will think twice.
Well, Stanford's been alert and aggressive, and that's just one more example of closing down. Here's the double team, and then watch Pickens react, come off of his man, and help to the basket to provide that resistance. Give him a cape. Batman, he's everywhere.
2 to shoot. Coleman just has to heave up a prayer. Falls to Pickens. Deep outlet. Here's Humphrey taking it all the way. Fouled. He'll shoot. That's on Okoro. Second foul on the 7'1" big man from Derby, England.
Stanford pushing the pace. Defense creates offense. Allows the Cardinal to get out, get some easy opportunities, some runouts, and that takes pressure off your half-court defense when you get some easy ones in transition.
Now, Lav, is a foul like that, is that a good foul? I mean, you think about Marcus Lee's got 2 fouls already. Now the other big Okoro has 2, but is it good to prevent that momentum-giving dunk?
You know, you want to use good judgment in that situation. It's instinctive. His aggressiveness. You want to make a play on the ball, but look at the rugby scrum here. Breaking out at Maples Pavilion.
Well, the officials trying to break this one up a little bit.
Here's where you don't want anyone to get caught up. See Coach Haas coming out, giving high fives all the way around. Likes to see his Cardinal getting on the floor. That's the type of player he was at Cal and Kansas, an inspirational player, intelligence, but also a lot of floor burns.
Well, Humphrey gets the timeout call. He is fired up. Not sure the last time we've seen a head coach that far beyond the arc.
Outside the coaching box.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. Imagine no possessions.
Until 1995, there were no pulmonary hypertension treatments available. Today, there are 12 medicines for adults, but none have been approved for children with PH. That's why PHA is committed to funding groundbreaking pediatric research. Visit phassociation.org to help provide hope for children with PH. Hope for Ian. Katie Grace, Maddie, and me, Lucas. The Pulmonary Hypertension Association, empowered by hope.
Welcome back to Fox College Hoops. Due to time constraints, we will move ahead to later in the game after these messages.
T-Flex here for FlexShopper.com. I know what it's like to feel like things are out of reach, especially if you want to own the latest electronics, furniture, and appliances, but you don't have the cash or credit. FlexShopper.com puts ownership within your reach with no money down and weekly payments you can afford.
Paying weekly with FlexShopper.com is a real game changer for us.
The selection is incredible. Now we go to FlexShopper.com whenever we need anything. We scored a new 4K HD TV for just $20 a week, an Xbox One for $19 a week, and a tablet for $10 a week.
With FlexShopper.com, I was able to get a new fridge for only $28 a week, and this dining room table for $24 a week. Because I can pay as I go, the things I want are finally within my reach.
So apply now for a spending limit of up to $2,000, and as my special gift to you, 1 week free. Just use the promo code on your screen. Start shopping now at FlexShopper.com.
Thank you.
Kindness. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their racks on no chain. Rather go and buy Balmains. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
It's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? You start paying college athletes pretty soon. You want to pay Pee Wee football players?
If Pee Wee football generates $1 billion a year, yeah.
It's way too slippery a slope.
Hey, Lav, there's your guy. Hey, the Cardinals shooting 50% so far, leading 29-16. You know, this matchup tonight features two of the top 4 scorers in the conference. We'll start with the good so far. How about Reed Travis?
Well, Reed Travis cleaning up the Humphrey miss, and again, back to the size, the length, the ability to finish has allowed the Cardinal to dominate at point-blank range.
Meanwhile, Don Coleman, we know this about Coleman, a volume shooter. They have not been going down for Coleman so far tonight.
Well, a number of predetermined or premeditated shots, and again, that's not a good formula for success. It's more likely to lead to lower shooting percentages because you've got to be able to react and read the defense. And if you're guarded, 2 wet towels draped on you, or you got elbows down your tonsils, your job is to pass the ball. It means you're guarded.
Almost turned over at midcourt. Now Sharma gets whistled for the foul.
That's a hard concept for players to understand sometimes, because in high school or AAU basketball, they were able to carry their team on their back. But as you step up in competition to college at the higher level and then ultimately to the NBA, everyone was a star at a younger age, and defenses are devised to provide help. And you've got to be able to read that and sometimes adjust, be a distributor, set up your teammates, share the sugar.
Coleman gets the front end. That foul on Sharma was his second. Michael Humphrey takes his spot on the floor.
Now, with that said, Aaron, that doesn't mean you don't want your players to be aggressive on the catch. Just the opposite. Be aggressive, but then use good judgment, make good reads. And when you've got 3 defenders, 2 defenders break on you, pitch it, find someone. The math favors the offensive team. Get rid of it.
A call, a foul. It's on Welly, his second.
And that's what Stanford has done very well. 11 field goals, 9 assists. So they are looking to transport the ball through the air. De Silva has 4 assists on his own, using his versatility and deft passing.
And how about De Silva, Lav? 4 assists for the freshman, 8 minutes of play so far. We've seen some really good ball distribution.
Well, that's where I think Coach Haas will be pleased with the progress. And some of it is they're closer to full strength. Also, they're getting better as the season goes along, because you practice, you watch game film. Akpala clearly making a difference as well, both offensively and defensively.
We've seen very little Marcus Lee, by the way. A transfer from Kentucky for Cal. Got off to a hot start, made his first 3 buckets. He's played just 8 minutes in the first half. De Silva fighting for it. Humphrey gets it. Pickens back on the floor for Stanford, gets it in the corner.
This is such a dramatically different team than we saw against Long Beach State or Portland State. Sharp offensively, of course, more complete personnel. The flush by Humphrey. Again, the ball movement and really looking for one another, setting up their teammates well. Just a cohesive approach, both offensively and defensively.
Humphrey 7 points, 4 boards in 10 minutes of play in the first half.
You know, this is an active zone too. It's not a hands-up Harry. Almost a steal by Akpala up top.
Coleman the floater rattles out, another rebound for Humphrey. Pickens sets things up. Pickens hunts his second 3, finds it.
A good delivery, a good pass by Cartwright. On the money, right in the wheelhouse, the shooting pocket of Dorian Pickens, and he clicked the heels and launched a rocket. Bottoms.
Neither team really prolific from behind the arc. Cal without a 3-pointer in the first half, 0 for 5. How about these last 2 hoops for the Cardinal?
Yeah, highly efficient, crisp ball movement, velocity on those passes. The skip to Cartwright. Cartwright drives into the teeth of defense. The nice give up. Humphrey with the easy flush. And then there's the click the heels. Good lift on that shot by Pickens.
Foul is on to Silva to put Justice Suing at the line. Cal having its struggles as McNeil checks in. The Bears 5 of their last 22 from the floor.
Anemic is ice cold this evening against the Cardinal. Now, some of that is Stanford's defense. Again, it's not a hands-up Harry 2-3 zone. They're active, they're aggressive, they're getting deflections, they're doubling on post touches, they're giving a lot of different looks to Cal.
Cartwright gives it up to Silva, fades away, foul.
To finish that point, while Stanford's playing some good defense, Cal just can't buy a bucket. A lid on the rim.
That's the 3rd on Anticevic. So look at the bigs for Cal. He has 3. Lee has 2. Welly has 2, and Okoro has 3. Cody Pugh on the floor for the first time for Stanford. Pickens to the bench. He's a freshman out of Baltimore, coming off a redshirt year.
De Silva, another fluid, highly skilled basketball player. I like the interchangeable parts, the versatility. We've seen that over the years with the Oregon Ducks and Dana Altman's approach to recruiting and employing a system that fits that personnel.
Well, he misses from underneath. A tough angle. Cartwright will go to the line.
You know, Cal missing some bunnies, point blank range shots, and some of that has to do with the trees that are always lurking. You see those skyscrapers and you quick shoot, or you're aware of the fact you might get your shot blocked. Not that tree. Glad he had some caffeine, maybe a vitamin B shot from the trainer here at Stanford in the Fanny to kind of fire him up, because he's definitely bringing a different level. Power bar maybe as well.
I think that'd be a shot in the trunk.
Coconut milk. In his case, it would. Yeah, right into the bark. Right into the bark of the trunk.
The specifics here.
Splitting hairs with me, right?
You got plenty to split.
Your hair looks nice.
There's Pickens. That's his, excuse me, to Silva, his second foul. Well, just on the floor, Roman Davis. first points. Now we'll be back here on Thursday. That'll be a good matchup. UCLA is here inside Maples to take on the Cardinal. UCLA taking down the Cougs. Washington State in their conference opener.
Well, Stanford gets closer to being back to full strength. This changes the complexion of the entire Pac-12 conference. Keep in mind, going into the season, Stanford was a team that was thought to be an NCAA tournament worthy.
Under a minute, and now under 10 to shoot. Loose ball. You trying to stay with it. 4 to shoot now. Cartwright. Hugh the rebound, and he pulls it down for the Cardinal. Cartwright fading away. My goodness, everybody's flying around. Coleman, transition 3, he finds it. Well, he needs that.
He clearly has the Wizard of Oz Emerald City green light. No conscience. Amnesia as well, which scorers need. Got to forget about the last shot or string of shots. Lock and low, put another one up.
Under 10 seconds to go. A kick by McNeil. That 3, by the way, snapped a 5-minute scoreless drought in terms of field goals for Cal.
Well, and this opportunity came off the penetration by Cartwright, the missed shot. So the Cardinal were in a vulnerable spot, and Cal capitalizes, gets down the floor, gets an open look.
White fading from the corner.
Yikes. Yeah, degree of difficulty 9.9 there on the Olympic scale.
9/10 of a second for Cal. McNeil the heave. And that is it for the first half. Boy, Stanford shooting nearly 50% in the first half. A commanding 37-24 lead as we go to halftime. Stay tuned for the FS1 College Hoops halftime show. It'll be Mike Hill, Jim Jackson, and of course Stanford great Casey Jacobson. Watching this one back in the studio. All that's coming up right after these messages.
For over a century, the Pac-12 has been a catalyst for collective excellence. An extraordinary blend of 12 unique universities. Combined, we elevate team chemistry to an art form. Connected by geography, passion, and creativity, our student athletes continue to find ways to marvel and amaze. As standout performers and inspiring innovators, as future leaders and global game changers, these are the elements of excellence. Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
Money is like life. You have to decide how to get the most from it. So we made you some simple, free tools to help you see how what you do today will affect your tomorrow. Which means you can make smart choices about how to spend your money and your life.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented them.
Misrepresent the facts? Are you kidding? Your proposal is ridiculous.
You have no right to call
You are the worst example of politics.
I stand for something.
Flip-flop.
I stand for something.
Flip-flopper, flip-flopper.
Your proposal is ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
That's the power of one.
I motion that I be issued the timeout, and
Wow. Me too.
yeah, for sure, you should get a timeout.
I apologize.
And I motion that I start showing more respect.
Civility. Pass it on.
Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion, nothing is making sense for me and you. We've got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your something you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls in the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. On the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Not all opinions are created equal.
Rodgers and Brady are the deodorants of the NFL. They take away all that smell.
Okay, cue the incense.
LeBron can play defense. He can pass. He can hit threes. He's the Swiss Army knife of this league. Harbaugh's a disruptor. It's what Uber did to taxis. Disruptors are really scary.
Perfectly opinionated.
I wouldn't say I'm wrong.
No chance.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays on FS1.
Hey, and welcome inside the FS1 College Hoops Halftime Report. Mike Hill hanging out with Jim Jackson and Casey Jacobson. Second half action between Cal and Stanford coming up after the break. But let's get you caught up on action from around the nation right now. And number one, Villanova taking on Butler at Hinkle. And, Butler came to play, fellas.
Just the second time in the last decade that a team has shot 60% or better from Villanova. The last time, Dougie McBuckets was wearing a Creighton uniform.
Yeah, Butler was up big. Villanova, number one team, coming back there. They cut it down to 10. But Butler, 15 to 22 for three-point land. And Keelan Martin always making a big shot.
Senior step it up. How about this? Butler twice in the same calendar year. Last time, January 2017. Beat number one Villanova. They get in today.
They get that win, 101-93. How about DePaul taking on number 6 Xavier? DePaul had a big lead in this game, but Xavier came back, went and good with the reverse jam right there. Musketeers up 3, and J.P. McCure was just doing everything for this team today.
He led them in scoring, but more importantly, he had blocks, steals, and this. Every hustle play went to McCure.
Xavier hangs on to hit the win 77-72. How about Big 12 action? Oklahoma, number 10 TCU. TCU undefeated coming in. Trey Young to Cameron McGusty. Young, 14 assists for Young, 39 points. McGusty, though, knocking down the Trey here. Oklahoma takes a 1-point lead. Final seconds, Sooners still up 1. Kenrich Williams for the win. Not happening.
And Oklahoma passes their first big test, Big 12 play.
90-89. This one also a good one. Florida State, number 24, taking on 4th-ranked Duke. How about Marvin Bagley III?
I think he missed this on purpose.
You think so?
Yeah, he wanted to show us what he could do right here. He's got the, little English.
Best freshman, Trey Young or Marvin Bagley?
Marvin Bagley.
32,
Trey Young.
21 for Bagley. All right. Trayvon Duvall to Wendell Carter Jr. for the dunk. Duke wins it 193. The Boston College, number 9, Virginia. Late second half, Virginia up 1. Ty Jerome. Jerome's in the house.
Close, but not close enough.
Cavs up by 4. 3.1 seconds left. BC down 1. Nick Popovich misses the floater.
Is there a team better in late game situations than Virginia? I don't think so.
Call the offensive foul. Virginia hangs on by 1. Wake Forest, number 13, UNC. Wake almost had this one.
Almost. Not good enough, baby. Only horseshoes, baby.
Hand grenade.
Hand grenade. That's it. Well, I didn't want to go there.
But we want to stay away from that. Yeah.
Stay away from
we already did it, but we understand. We apologize. Brian Crawford, 3 to win, but it's off the mark. North Carolina hangs on to win at 73-69. SEC, number 19, Tennessee at Arkansas, and Daniel Gafford. Ooh! Gafford beats.
The SEC is strong this year.
Yeah. Darryl Macon in overtime here, making it happen. Look at that. Baseline reverse, and then how about splitting the defenders and off the glass there, and Razorbacks up 5, Macon.
Finish it. Finish it.
He had 13 in overtime, finishing with 33. Arkansas with the upset, 95-93. We will get you back out to Maples Pavilion, the home that Casey Jacobson built. Aaron Goldsmith and Steve Lavin.
Shout out to Brevin Knight.
After the break.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
something's not right.
My first symptoms were
Constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes I'll go numb.
I had double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it. But at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion. We got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better.
All Stanford in the first half. The Cardinal at one point leading by as many as 17. Halftime here inside Maples against the Cal Golden Bears. Welcome courtside once again. Aaron Goltz with Steve Lavin. Lav, one thing we noticed from the very beginning of this game, the tempo and how well the Stanford Cardinal shared the basketball.
Yeah, they really put on a clinic in terms of a zone attack with precision and purpose. And we saw it time and time again. Purposeful bounce, the dump off to Reed Travis down low for the high percentage look. Sharma gets involved with a two-hand jam. And Akpala there at the mid-range, a great area to get a catch. Good penetration by Cartwright. Again, sharing the sugar for Humphrey, who jams one home. And then Dorian Pickens able to click the heels like Dorothy, line one up, and send it through the nets.
11 assists on 13 field goals. The Cardinal far and away out-rebounding the Golden Bears. Cal with its first three-pointer. That came from Don Coleman. Really the final moments of that first half. We got the second half here from inside Maples coming up on the other side.
When it comes to Pac-12 basketball, it's all about our unique mixture of elements: oxygen, iron, sodium, and yes, neon. The 2018 Men's Pac-12 Basketball Tournament, a four-night formula of work and play, not in the lab, but under the lights of T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Experience the energy at the Pac-12 Men's Basketball Tournament, March 7th through the 10th. Go to pac-12.com/tickets.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. Sharing all
Everything you've worked for,
This is our day! This is our time!
everything you fought for, comes down to this.
No excuses!
Panthers, Saints. The NFC Wild Card, Sunday at 4 Eastern on Fox.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
Constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes they'll go numb.
Double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it, but at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
Give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better.
For the 271st time, Stanford versus Cal, and a new face. KZ Akpala, just his second game of the season. The freshman from Los Angeles leading the way offensively for the Cardinal with 8 points. Don Coleman on 2 for 9 shooting. 7 points to lead things for the Bears, missing his first 7 tries from the floor.
If the Cal Bears looking at a 13-point deficit, you just need to chip away. You hope by the next TV timeout you got it under double digits. Chip 4 or 5 points with each 4 or 5 minute battle. You get a timeout, regroup.
Coleman gets the offensive glass.
Yeah. So often when teams trail, they get anxious, try and get it all back in a hurry, and then compound problems and find themselves down even more in terms of a deficit. First 5 minutes, we saw it last night in the Utah-Oregon game, so critical. Who's going to establish momentum in these early possessions?
Travis crosses over, going up against Okoro, is able to rattle it through.
A good answer, a good counter, well devised. Reed Travis effective there at 10-12 feet at driving slower defenders, attacking the feet, and able to finish at the rim.
Coleman, a little hesitation on that 3, but puts it up. Okoro offensive glass. Humphrey with the rebound.
Yeah, Okoro rushed that one. That's an example. Just throwing it up there. He didn't really even shoot the ball. It wasn't a hook. It wasn't a jump shot. It didn't get squared. It wasn't a jump hook. It was just a chuck, a rock.
Pickens knocked down a couple of 3s in the first half. This time driving off the window.
Well, the number of weapons, and again, this is where Stanford is different. Their record would be dramatically different if they played with the full complement of their personnel all year. We're seeing so many different options now on the floor for Coach Hass and his staff to play through.
Coleman, that's a deep, almost floater is how that looked.
That was well devised, well executed. Came off the screen, gathered his feet, was on balance. That's a high percentage look.
Travis trying to shake and shimmy. Okoro commits the foul. That's his 4th.
A little 2-man game as Lee, a little handoff, old school basketball. Coleman turns the corner, wisely pulls up, little stop and pop jumper, mid-range.
Substitution coming for Cal. And Tisovic with 3 fouls of his own, taking over for Okoro.
Stanford stays healthy and continues to gel. Dejon Davis matures as a freshman guard. They're going to be very difficult to beat in conference play here at Maples Pavilion.
Well, Davis just 6 minutes in the first half for Jared Hass. And Lev, fair to say that if Cal wants to come back in this one. They're going to need a big second half for Marcus Lee. Only 8 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they need to get some production in the lane at the basket, suing there with the tip in, but that came off the dribble penetration, Stanford's rotation. Good shot transition by Pickens. Karam's off the rim. Working on my play-by-play just in case you ever get
it's good to have
sore throat.
Collapse on Lee. Lee spins it around, high arc, and able to put it through.
Well, Lee's showing his versatility, driving the ball to the hoop from 20 feet out.
Lee 4 for 4 from the floor. Pickens thought about it, tries to dish to Humphrey, but Coleman gets it away. Coleman without numbers, taken on Humphrey. Paula pulls it down. Pickens looking for Travis down low, but instead up top to Davis.
It was a big miss by Stanford, a chance to cut it to 8. They would have shaved 5 points off the halftime deficit. Well, Lee showing the ability here against the double. He steps out, takes a back dribble, and then attacks. Showing the left hand here. That's over Humphrey, 7-footer.
Meanwhile, Cal is beginning to run out of fouls. That's the 4th on Anticevic. Took over for Okoro when he picked up his 4th. Roman Davis checking in for Cal. Humphrey trying to hold on, kisses it off the window.
What a pass by Akpala. Again, it's almost like he's on skates. So smooth. Suing into the teeth of the defense, gathers the feet. Found himself a nice little shot.
Pickens drives the foul. Go back to the dish from Akpala.
Yeah, the fluidity, the grace. Drives, avoids picking up the offensive foul, and sees Humphrey open underneath. A lot of poise. Highly skilled. To this point, I'm impressed with his temperament. Doesn't seem to be in the peaks or valleys emotionally. Very even keel, balanced individual.
Meanwhile, the 3rd foul on Marcus Lee, who sat the majority of the first half with 2 fouls. Pickens back to both. McNeil, a pretty quiet first half, just 2 points. Keep in mind, a 46% three-point shooter, one of the best in the conference. Coleman weaving through, pulls up. Front iron falls right to Humphrey's chin. Akpala taking it right up to Roman Davis, who commits the foul. 2nd on Davis.
Early offense, get down the floor, get organized before the defense gets back and gets set up, and there's opportunities to probe or explore, and Akpala putting it on the deck is rewarded by stepping to the foul line.
A lot of foul trouble on that bench for Cal as Akpala misses both.
See if Cal gives himself a chance here by moving the ball some, get it shifted to the other side of the floor.
Suing steps back for the 3, front iron.
Not the look of why King Jones wants.
Akpala misses a chippy.
When you're playing against a zone or a man, it's so important to try and get the ball from one side of the floor to the other. Nice take. Aggressive. McNeil
just kind of threw a dart off the backboard.
He did. Kind of a low trajectory, splashing off the window.
His first points of the second half. Akpala, quick touch, turnaround, hits it.
And that's, again, right in the teeth of that zone defense. There's that pocket in the high post area. Great area. Once you catch it there, good putback. Aggressive.
That's Roman Davis on the lead miss.
Cal starting to find a better rhythm offensively.
We cut to 10. And the corner to Silva. So Silva doesn't take many threes. 8 for 13 on the season, but when he's taken them, he's made the most of it.
You know, looking at the 5 players on the floor right here for Stanford, they're a difficult matchup. And Reed Travis isn't even in the game. But these 5 are all highly skilled. Even the frontline players can shoot from distance, can pass. Impressive.
Battle of the Bay, separated by the Bay Bridge. We've got more in the second half coming up. 51-38, Stanford on top.
Team chemistry. It's not something you're given, but something you earn. Not a feeling that appears overnight, but a bond forged over time. In the classroom and on the field, on the court and behind the scenes, on campus and in the community. Practice executed perfectly, over and over and over again, until victory happens. These are the elements of excellence. Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be one. Imagine no possessions.
Kindness. Pass it on. Thank you.
Welcome back to Fox College Hoops. Due to time constraints, we move ahead to later in the game.
By the way, that Arizona game, DeAndre Ayton, 23 points left, 19 boards. Farmer puts it up over Lee's wingspan.
Well, DeAndre Ayton anchors that Arizona team at both ends of the floor. You build championship teams from the inside out. And Ayton, as good as it gets, he'll be a top 3 pick next year in the NBA draft.
Coleman the crossover, trying to go backdoor, picked away by Pickens.
This is where Stanford needs to show some maturity, continue to execute, build on this lead. If you're Cal, you're trying to chip away, get it under double digits.
Travis follows the block, puts it through. Travis, the conference's leading scorer, now with 11.
Well, here's the dilemma for Cal. They go with the smaller lineup, a quicker lineup. They pick up some ball handling, some fast breaking, but they give up the size, length, and strength at the rim. Other than Lee, this is a smaller unit on the floor for Cal. But they're exploring. Here's an aggressive double team by Stanford.
McNeil trapped. Stanford ball.
I like the different look. Sharma there really moving the feet, fully extended, And that's a great area to trap because you've got the sideline, which really acts as an extra defender. It's the equivalent of a triple team. That's why you want to keep the ball off the sidelines against traps.
Travis Sharma. Travis again. This is blown dead. Violation around the rim. So we're taking another look.
Looked like he was trying to jam it back home. A tip dunk.
Lee, a pretty move in the spin cycle to go through.
A little pep in the step here for the Cal Bears offensively.
The foul looks like on Sharma. It is. That's his third.
Lee making some quick, decisive moves here. The spin off one leg, puts it down off the window. Got a soft touch for a big man.
Michael Humphrey in for Sharma with 3 fouls.
So still a 13-point deficit. Coming up on 8 minutes into this half. Cal hasn't been able to chip away, but they're playing a bit more aggressively offensively.
Roman Davis takes it right to the rim, and it's pinned. That's not easy to do.
In particular on a layup.
The Silva comes in.
You'll see it sometimes on a long shot, but on a scoop shot, it bounces around and caroms. And
now the look at Roman Davis's face, which maybe you saw at the top of the screen.
Was he in awe, perplexed, shocked?
Pickens for 3. Foul on the floor. That's on Sewing, his first. You know, Marcus Lee, we said, Cal, if they want to come back, they need a big second half from the Kentucky transfer.
Well, let the big dog eat. Give it up. That's spoon feeding. Lee jams it home. Timeout.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions.
Living in this crazy world, so caught up in the confusion, nothing is making sense for me and you. Maybe we can find a way, there's got to be solution, how to make a brighter day. What do we do? We've got to give a little love, have a little hope, make this world a little better. Try a little more, harder than before. It's a beautiful morning.
Kindness.
Thank you.
Pass it on.
Stanford leading Cal in the conference opener here from inside Maples. Tomorrow it's an NFL doubleheader on Fox. First, the Vikings look to secure a first-round bye as they host the Chicago Bears. Then Cam Newton and the Panthers face Matt Ryan and the Falcons in a huge matchup that could decide the NFC South. It all happens tomorrow on Fox. Check your local listings for a game in your area. A special guest in the house here tonight live, Lou Campanelli, former Cal coach.
Well, legendary coach who came west from James Madison, where he had success and really turned the culture at Cal in terms of winning, snapping the losing streak against UCLA. And of course, Jared Haas played for Lou Campanelli at Cal Berkeley.
True pass to Reed Travis. Humphrey on the low block, asking for it. And they set it back up top with Dejon Davis, the freshman from Seattle. Baseline jumper. Humphreys hit one of those, this time missing badly, but ends up being a pass to Dorian Pickens, who was fouled. Second foul on Darius McNeil.
There's John Wheeler, who also played for the Cal Bears. To the right of Lou Campanelli, was an assistant during a different era at Cal as well. John played at Petaluma for the Trojans up here in Northern California. Was an outstanding player, and then went on to Cal. He had Lou Campanelli's intensity and his conviction, his will to win is really what changed the Cal culture into a more competitive basketball program. Long stretch between Pete Newell and some decades of real struggle for the Bears in basketball, and then Lou created a mind shift, different mindset. Of course, success as well with Todd Bozeman, Ben Braun, Conzo Martin, Mike Montgomery.
Sure.
Former Stanford coach, went over to Cal and won the first Pac-10 championship since 1960. 50 years between Pac-10 championships for the Cal Bears, and Mike Montgomery brought that championship back to Berkeley. Here's White King Jones, the recent, taking the baton from Conzo Martin.
Well, the officials are huddling about something here. There was a foul called on Michael Humphrey, broke up the attempted alley-oop from Coleman to Lee. That is the third on Humphrey. Let's see if we can find out what exactly they are taking a look at here, or talking about at least. It looks like nothing more than a shot clock situation they were looking at.
Going back to 6 degrees of Lou Campanelli, Jeff Wolbrin, who's now an assistant for Jared Haas, was an assistant under Lou Campanelli at Cal when Jared Haas was playing for the Bears. How about that?
Lee spins and finishes.
He's smooth. Seeing him drive it to the hoop. In transition, running like a deer. Jam one home, and there the footwork inside with the soft touch.
Kick from Don Coleman. Now the Silva checks out. Meanwhile, another freshman, Akpala, checks in for Stanford. Akpala in double figures, making his first career start today. Pickens with the ball to the wing, his first game in 11 games for Stanford. He missed a lot of time with a foot injury. Sharma on the block with 6 to shoot. Coleman gets his hand on it. Out of bounds with 4 to shoot for Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford needs to continue to execute attack Cal zone with aggressiveness. Be purposeful. 4 seconds, a short clock here.
The Travis baseline jumper rattles out. Sharma puts it back through.
There's Sharma to clean up the garbage. Like a crouton falling off the salad plate. Make a meal of it. And almost like a volleyball player there. Fully extended, 2-hand tap with the putback.
Well, they've been trying to go upstairs to Lee a lot recently. They haven't quite been able to make it work except that one time. That's on Sharma, his 4th foul. And Michael Humphrey getting ready to check back in for him. Humphrey with 3 of his own.
Look at Sharma on the weak side here. When the ball caroms out, he's there with the 2 hands just to control, tap it back in. Again, like a volleyball player. Skill there, but also he was in position on that weak side. Carved out that space. Be able to make it happen.
Is it more volleyball or more crouton?
Well, opportunistic, you want to be in position when that crouton comes off the plate and then make a meal of it. Don't just settle.
I don't know what kind of meals you're eating, Lav.
Because Sharma's not getting the number of looks that, let's say, Humphrey or Reed Travis get. So you got to be resourceful, use your ingenuity, get on the boards, get second shots, pick up some croutons.
Humphrey battling against Lee off the glass.
Boy, that was well executed. In tight quarters there, too. Those extra passes, the interior passing.
And McNeil trying to get something going from deep, and he does. His first 3 ball. Remember, one of the best in the conference, shooting 46%. Pickens gets stripped. And a foul is called on McNeil, his 3rd.
Pickens able to turn the corner. Contested.
And McNeil has been given a technical foul.
Rivalry game, but you got to keep the emotions in check. Key for Cal is trying to get it inside of double digits from a psychological standpoint. Now it's 3-4 possession game and plenty of time, but they haven't been able to get it under double digits.
Stanford has led by as many as 17 tonight.
Like King Jones, I'm sure frustrated with that technical foul. So rarely, matter of fact, in the history of the game, the call's never been reversed. So you're better served putting the energy into the next play. Try and help your team come back. That's all part of growing up, the maturation process. How to use that emotional fuel in an effective manner to elevate your team's performance and not derail the purposes of trying to win.
Pickens now with 13 on the night as Kingsley Okoro comes back on the floor. Takes Roman Davis' spot for Cal. Under 10 minutes to play tonight, the conference opener. This one has been dominated by Stanford since nearly the opening tip. Pickens driving baseline, kicks up top. Dejon Davis for 3. His first points tonight.
Big sequence. Mark that one down. Technical, the 3-pointer. Cal needs to answer here, a counter punch.
Davis on McNeil.
A lot of dribbling.
Suing taking, finger roll, pretty right through. Pickens has it knocked away. Baseline by Justice Suing.
Suing, an intriguing prospect. Did some nice things here this evening. Picks his spots, makes some good judgments. When to shoot, when to keep the ball moving.
Travis first looks for Humphrey, then spins, but finds Okoro in a not very pleasant way. Cal leading the conference in blocks. Okoro second most in the conference behind Kenny Wooten of Oregon. KZ Akpala hanging, he'll shoot 2. Second foul on Justice Suing.
Stanford continuing to double on Cal's post catches, and that's been effective, not only because the length of those traps or double teams, but it's led off the ball to Stanford being aggressive, almost like a defensive back, splitting the difference and picking off some of those dangerous diagonal cross-court passes by Cal.
McHamilton on the floor. Takes over for Sewing. Sewing exits with 10 points. And it finds the new man. And McNeil with 7 points now after that three-pointer. Second leading scorer for Cavs. Arthur's 13 tonight. Trying to dial up another three. Rebound for Reed Travis. Knocked away. Hamilton, outlet pass to McNeil. No numbers, but he weaves and takes a stumble.
McNeil, aggressive offensively.
That's the third on Pickens.
I think when Cal watches game film, they'll realize, again, being aggressive, but also being purposeful in your approach. Just showing better judgment in terms of shot selection.
Lead taken on Humphrey.
You don't want to be passive. You want to be aggressive, but get the ball from one side of the floor to the other, attack the paint, try and get to the kill spots. And that's what you're seeing Stanford do. A little hot potato in rhythm. They missed that shot, but it's a good look. You can live with it as a coach. Conceptually, you take those high-quality shots over the course of a game or a season, you're going to shoot a high percentage and win a lot of ball games.
To Okoro. And he missed. Now you talk about a sequence of points for Stanford. There is McNeil whistled for the technical. That resulted in a couple of made free throws by Dorian Pickens. And then the first bucket tonight for the freshman, Dejon Davis, who hits from deep.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes I'll go numb.
Double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it. But at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
You can beat the world, you can beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Stanford by 16 and a welcome sight for the Cardinal lab. Dorian Pickens, the senior from Phoenix, missing the last 11 games with a foot injury. Not only is he active tonight, but he started.
A two-way player we saw there, the ability to torch the nets from distance, and defensively with the block shot once again dialing one up here, creating off the bounce, going to the window for the finish, using the size over a smaller defender. So his size, his skill set, a real asset for the Stanford Cardinal.
Been a long time since he's been on the floor for Stanford. Back to November 26th versus Portland State. He was a game time decision. Lee taking on Humphrey, trying to step through, foul, count it.
Pickens with 16 points tonight, so he's had an impact in his return to the Cardinals.
Now Lee is having a monster second half.
I like the fact he gathered on the draw through, got the feet back under him, didn't rush or quick shoot it. Puts it down off the backboard, but can't convert.
Where free throws have been a problem. 6 for 15 for Cal on a night where they really need free points. And that missed free throw did not allow Stanford to sub in Sharma for Humphrey, who has 4 fouls. So Sharma still waiting to get on the floor. And now a whistle after a kick. You know, Cal has had a tendency to get to the line. Only 3 teams in the nation get to the line more frequently than Cal, but well, they have really had a struggle from the stripe tonight. A walk. Not many turnovers here tonight, Lav, on both sides.
Well, both teams have employed the zone for most of the game. We've seen some different looks, extended on made baskets, full court pressure. So man-to-man on a few occasions, but when you face a zone, you're less likely to turn the ball over than you are against man-to-man. So that's part of the equation there in terms of the math.
McNeil inbounds to Lee. It's an easy lane.
And he took his time. We saw earlier where he rushed his shots, or there was indecision, a bit pretzeled or paralyzed on his approach.
7-0 Cal run. Under 6 minutes to play.
Now it's.
And Akpata loses it. Here comes Coleman.
It's under double digits. A chance to cut it some more.
On the floor.
This is a real surge here by the Cal Bears. Once you get it inside of 10, just from a psychological standpoint, completely different. And again, there was Cartwright at the top of the screen, out of position. It leads to the open 3 by McNeil, and then Bakura down low gathers, old-fashioned layup. And Cal's back in business.
That's the 3rd foul on Reed Travis.
Awkward release there.
Humphrey, by the way, double-double, 11 points, 12 boards. You can see the free throw woes for Cal in particular. Stanford shooting just 54% from the line.
Cal going man-to-man defense. Picked up the pace.
Boy, you know, right when we said not many turnovers, Stanford's really topped it up. Coleman goes underneath and puts it off the glass. This is suddenly a game as we approach the 5-minute mark.
See if Jared Haskin will get a timeout.
And he does. Now suddenly defense leading to offense for the Bears.
Well, in the man-to-man defense, picked up the aggression, active hands, swipes the ball, leads to the numbers, the mathematics, a 9-0 run by the Cal Bears. Rivalry game, timeout.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Spread their racks on no chain. Rather go and buy Balmains. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
It's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? You start paying college athletes pretty soon. You want to pay Pee Wee football players?
If Pee Wee football generates $1 billion a year, yeah.
It's way too slippery a slope.
And really as close as it's been since the early moments of the first half. Lab a 9-0 Cal run.
Well, it's been fueled by the man-to-man defense, forcing some turnovers, and then offensively lead down low, point-blank range layup, and McNeil from distance off a breakdown by Stanford defensively. Okoro going to work inside, and again, active hands, active feet, aggression gets Coleman out in transition for the easy layup. Cal cuts it to 7.
And if you zoom out even further, an 11-1 run for the Golden Bears. They made the last 4 shots. And you can see points in the paint. That's the one thing that the Bears have a clear advantage on tonight.
See coming out of the timeout what Coach Haas devised. And aggressive.
7 to shoot now. Pickens, his defender, falls, but he misses. Humphrey is there to throw it down. I have the sense that basket means more than just 2 points for the Cardinals.
Emphatic little exclamation point, and it stops the bleeding, the run by the Cal Bears.
10 to shoot now for Cal. They feed Marcus Lee. He kicks out Nick Hamilton. Not much offensively tonight. That one well off the mark. Coleman fighting for it. Loose ball. And is it a shot clock violation or a jump ball? Well, that never hit rim.
Yeah, Hamilton just whistles one over the rim. Close the windows in Maples. There's a draft. It did hit the backboard on the far side, and a little bit of the foam that protects the players from the glass. Those are called UFOs, unidentified flying objects. We've seen a couple this weekend, Aaron.
And that was ruled a shot clock violation. Humphrey squares up. Okoro over Okoro and off the glass.
Well, Humphrey, strong performance both ends of the floor this evening for the Cardinal. Seeing all his skills on display. Another turnover by the Bears.
McCullough fouled by McNeil, his 4th. Boy, the momentum has swung right back to Stanford.
Well, and give Jared Ass credit. That timeout, his troops, his charges have responded.
Michael Humphrey having himself a night of the conference opener. A double-double. Humphrey sitting now on 15 points and a big slam, too.
Pretty.
No cash, bad credit, no problem. There's a whole new way to shop at flexshopper.com.
There is no money down, and bad credit is not a problem. You pay as you go.
You pay a weekly amount you know you can afford. They have brand name electronics, furniture, and appliances. Pretty much everything you need.
I got a flat screen TV for $7 a week.
We got the kids an Xbox One, and we pay $15 a week.
I only pay $12 a week for my tablet.
I didn't have money for a new fridge, but $22 a week, I can afford. With FlexShopper.com, there is no long-term obligation, and if you lease for a year, it's yours to keep.
Go to flexshopper.com today and apply for an instant spending limit from $200 to $2,500. Then start shopping. There are thousands of brand name products to choose from. Use the promo code on your screen and get 1 week free.
You get the brand name products you want, there's no money down, and bad credit is not a problem.
Go to flexshopper.com today.
something's not right.
My first symptoms were
Constant tingling in my toes.
Double vision.
They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
We had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
This is your wake-up call.
All right, now we got something.
This is what happens when game...
We're divas. We're extra.
...recognizes game.
The Warrior, the Brock Osweiler, Tom Savage, Back Osweiler, and Savage, and Sean Watson.
What?
These guys sleep and eat everything sports.
I'm glad you're on my team.
Maybe it's just an obsession.
Does LeBron know that you're obsessed with him?
First things first. Weekday mornings on FS1.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Snowball Express in their commitment to providing hope and new happy memories to the children of our fallen heroes while on active duty since 9/11. We remember. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn how. Just under 3.5 minutes to play in this one, the conference opener for Stanford and Cal. 70-59, the Cardinal on top. Both teams entering tonight at 6 and 7. And Michael Humphrey having himself a night. Fourth double-double this season, I beg your pardon. 15 and 13. He is working with 4 fouls, however. Akpala at the line.
It's so important that when a team is at full strength, players can settle in to roles they're more comfortable with. And let's face it, Arizona, if they had had Raleigh Alkins all year, would be undefeated #1 in the country. They don't lose the 3 games down at Atlantis, or if they do 1 at the most, then they'd be #1 or 2 in the country in that case as well. So Stanford getting Akpala back, good look. He just keeps putting them up. McNeil again. Got to stay attached. Find #1 on the Cal Bears if you're Stanford, whether zone or man, find them.
That's his 3rd from distance, one of the best in the conference. Pickens taking high off the glass. Humphrey tries to follow. And it goes to Okoro.
Still time. You don't have to shoot threes.
McNeil left open, looking for his 4th. No shooters touch. Rebound. Sewing puts it through.
I like Sewing. 5 field goals on the night. He's effective in the mid-range and basket area for a player his size. Good feel for the game.
6-point game. Under 2.5 to play. Akpala with a little bit of a shove and an offensive foul.
Well, that's unusual. Here's that handoff, Humphrey to Akpala, but he was demonstrative in lowering that shoulder. More often than not, we see benefit of the doubt go to the offensive player. But in that case, Akpala picks up the foul.
That's his 1st. Sewing baseline. He steps through Humphrey. He finishes, and a 3-point play is pending. What a take.
I like Sewing. He's very effective mid-range and in the lane. 6 buckets now in the evening here. He just puts it on the deck, goes strong to his left, then rips the ball through. Able to absorb the contact among the trees. Finds daylight, puts it down off the window. A chance for the old-fashioned 3-point play, and he converts. How about
15. And Reed Travis now with 4 fouls.
How about a 1-possession game?
Closest we've been since the opening minutes, literally. Stanford trying to snap this 8-0 run. Backdoor Pickens, no foul. Travis, foul counted. 3-point play chance on the other end.
And a good punch, counter punch. Well devised, little pressure release for the backdoor cut. Akpala with the delivery. Pickens can't finish, but Reed is there again to get the second shot opportunity. We talked about the croutons, the offensive rebounds. And they fall off the salad plate, make a meal of it. Reed Travis has.
Well, McNeil has fouled out right when we were saying he had the hot hand. He's knocked down a trio of threes in the second half. In fact, he scored 11 points since halftime. He's done for the night.
King Jones has to be pleased with the resiliency, the pluck, the spirited comeback here by the Cal Bears. Still time.
McNeil, you remember, had the technical in the second half as well. Lee backing out on Travis, who's got 4 fouls. Lee looks like got away with the travel there. Gets 2 points out of it.
Yeah, he might have shifted kickstands. His pivot feet.
He's got 19 points. 4-point game.
He did it so fluidly. Refs missed it.
Pickens for 3. Long rebound controlled by Sewing. Sewing pushing. Akpala forces the kick. And a 3 made in the corner. Antisevich. 1-point game. Antisevich, his first points in the second half.
How about it? Big fella. Let him eat. May have traveled, but it's a rivalry game. Count it. Antisevich from right in front of the Bears bench buries it. Timeout.
I acquired a lot of fans being an Earnhardt. I was never going to be the intimidator and all those things that he was, but I could do it my way. I take pride in the fact that I've done some good things on the track and off the track to maintain that fan base, if not grow it.
Grant Antisevich is on the floor simply because McNeil fouled out. And he just knocked down his second career 3-pointer to bring Cal within 1. 1:17 left.
So often rivalry games are about unexpected contributors. Antisevich making the most of his opportunity tonight.
We approach the 1-minute mark.
Stay aggressive if you're Stanford. Be purposeful, probe out the best look.
Akpala with 7 to shoot. Gets it back in the corner. Tough 2 pull-up. Marcus Lee the rebound. Under a minute.
Good check out there by Hamilton on Reed Travis. Like King Jones, looks like he's going to elect to not go with the timeout.
Now with 2 timeouts remaining. Sewing taking, left hand finish, fouled as well.
I like Sewing. Something about him, Aaron. Good at the mid-range, good at the rim, opportunistic. 7 field goals on the evening. Look at him. Why not? Navigating through defenders and finding that lane or daylight for the finish.
First lead for Cal since the 18-20 mark in the first half.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday
not only did that ensuing bucket give Cal the lead, it also has fouled Michael Humphrey out of the game. Humphrey a double-double, 13 boards, 15 points, 7 for 10 shooting. A deadly weapon for the Cardinal on the bench the rest of the way.
Cal's aggressive, smothering, pressure defense has been a difference. It seems to have activated their offense and their aggressiveness at that end of the floor as well, and Sewing going to work.
2-point lead, 27-8 run for Cal over the last 9.5 minutes. Chance to tie or take the lead. Travis taking it up. Okoro is whistled. That's his 5th.
See Lee sliding. He walls.
I beg your pardon. It's on Marcus Lee. That's his 4th.
Yeah, tried to wall up, but the hands aren't completely vertical. Once they come forward, then almost an automatic whistle coming.
Okoro and Lee playing with 4 now. Timeout called by Stanford. Travis is 70% free throw shooter. But free throws have been a struggle for both sides tonight. How about Justice Suing, the freshman from Honolulu?
Well, trying to write a chapter in the history of this rivalry. Suing doing a lot of things, opportunistic there on the offensive board. Here the drive and able to finish in traffic after absorbing the hit. Again, from top down, a straight line drive to the bucket. I like Suing.
Remember, this is the same Cal team that lost 106-81 at home to Portland State. Reed Travis to the top. Misses. A quick foul by Dejon Davis.
Interesting, almost like last night with Utah and Oregon, the tale of 2 halves. Oregon in that game had seized momentum early. Utah came out in the second half and seized momentum and ended up winning that game. And now we take a look at the free throw shooting on that graphic, an issue for the Cal Bears.
But I'll tell you what, when they've needed them, they've gotten them 6 for the last 6.
Well, of anyone on the team, Coleman probably right now, given McNeil's fouled out, the man you want at the free throw line.
3-point game.
I think you probe. Take a look at something hard going through the basket.
De Silva gives it up. Akpana and a whistle.
Wow.
Timeout called by Stanford. Keep in mind, Stanford at one point in this game led by as many as 17 in the final minutes of the first half. We'll step aside with them. 6 seconds to go. We're back in 30 seconds. Here from Stanford.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Are you kidding?
Your proposal's ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
Oh, that's the power of one.
Civility. Pass it on.
One grain of sand can turn the tide.
Cal has led for fewer than 2 minutes so far tonight. 6 seconds left. Cal leading by 3. And this has a chance to be an utter giveaway from Stanford, doesn't it, Lam? You think about how much they controlled this game. They absolutely dominated the first half.
It was like 2 different games. We're seeing 2 different teams, and very similar to last night's game, Oregon and Utah at Mac Court, where Utah was able to pull out a tough road win over the Ducks. And here the Cal Bears with an impressive run. And considering McNeil fouls out, but Anticevic hits the big shot. Cal shooting 61% on the half. So they've been torching the nets. They've done it in a variety of ways. Timely threes, but also attacking the rim, getting second shots and drives to the bucket against the Cardinal.
Stanford out of timeouts, down by 3 with 6 seconds left. Pickens to inbounds. Reed Travis, 5 seconds left. Travis will have to take a 3. Travis off the mark, and Cal wins the conference opener. King Jones, his first time as a head coach in this Cal-Stanford rivalry, and he comes away with a win out the back door of Maples.
Well, impressive resiliency, a spirited effort by the Cal Bears in the second half. This is well defended, blanketed by Cal. They're trying to get the ball to Pickens, but Reed Travis elects to launch one from distance. King Jones gets a W in this 106-year rivalry. #1 for the young man.
Absolutely unreal. Cal had dropped 7 of its previous 10 here inside Maples, and they walked away victorious here tonight. 77-74 our final. Cal comes back with a stunner against the Cardinal. Coming up next, TMZ Sports Weekend scene in its entirety. So glad you could join us. From my broadcast partner Steve Lavin, our entire FS1 crew. You've been watching Pac-12 Hoops right here on FS1.